So is there a worse run franchise in the NFL right now than the Oakland Raiders? I mean, seriously, this team is freaking awful. Boneheaded free agent pickups year in and year out. Boneheaded draft picks year in and year out. Although I did like what they did this offseason and what they did in the draft, so maybe things are starting to turn around. We'll see. It's been 13 years since the Raiders made the playoffs, let alone have a 500 record, and they've gone through their fair share carousel of head coaches. Norv Turner, Art Shell, Lane Kiffin, Tom Cable, Hugh Jackson, Dennis Allen, and Tony Sperano have all come and gone since Bill Callahan led Oakland to a Super Bowl appearance all the way back in 2002. So let's see how long Jack Del Rio lasts. He was the defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos the last 3 seasons and might be the most authoritative figure Oakland's had since John Gruden. He's also got a pedigree, too, spending 9 years as the head man in Jacksonville. So, led them a couple playoff appearances. The David Garrard-led Jags. Oh, man, those Jaguar teams. He's also a Bay Area native, so he's got that going for him, too. The ownership has never been afraid to break open the bank to bring in free agents, something, I've referenced before I haven't agreed with because they tend to bring a crop like last year. Lamar Woodley, Justin Tuck. These guys were in the twilight of their careers when they were brought in. So, I don't understand. We all know Oakland wasn't a playoff contender last year, so what was the point of bringing those guys in? I don't know. Why not draft good players and use that money to keep them? That's something I haven't understood, but you know what? Like I said before, again, I like what the Raiders did this offseason. General Manager Reggie McKenzie used that dough on solid, less expensive players like center Rodney Hudson, linebacker Curtis Lofton, and yet defensive tackle Dan Williams. So these guys aren't in the twilight of their careers, actually kind of in the prime of them, and they're all solid football players. All 3 of those guys are better than Woodley and Tuck, in my opinion. So thumbs up for me. What Oakland needs to do to take the next leap, they've got to get improvement from Derek Carr, obviously. He started all 16 games through 21 touchdowns to go with 12 interceptions. Not a bad ratio for a rookie, but averaged just 5.5 yards per pass attempt. In my opinion, I think he does have a bright future. He was a lot better than I expected him to be a year ago. The offense was putrid overall last season, finishing last in total offense and rushing. They were 31st in scoring, 26th in passing. But they picked up some weapons, taking Alabama's Amari Cooper 4th overall in the draft, picked up Mychal Crabtree through free agency, tight end Clive Walford was drafted in the 3rd round, and Latavius Murray also looks like a promising talent and running back. So there are some pieces in place for improvement. Oakland allowed 28.2 points per game last year, the most in the league. They were also last in turnover differential at -15, but the team has an outstanding building block and outside linebacker Khalil Mack, who was a monster against the run during his rookie season. All right, so before I go position by position, make sure you click on the description box below. I got all the players' rank, units, numbers besides each player. So, hopefully you guys have fun with that. All right, it's in the description box. Going position by position now. Carr has a quick release, and I like his throwing motion, but needs to improve his accuracy and decision-making under pressure. The additions of Cooper and Crabtree will definitely help. New offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave plans on installing, no-huddle aspects to the offense, which will play to Carr's strengths. He ran an up-tempo attack when he was at Fresno State. So, I think, again, that should help him out. Christian Ponder was slated to be the backup, but he was released, so Matt McGloin will handle those duties. Darren McFadden is gone. Maurice Jones-Drew retired, so it'll be Murray's chance to prove if he can become a go-to back. I also like the free agent acquisition of Helu, Roy Helu. Murray excelled down the stretch, averaged 5.2 yards per carry, put up 424 yards on the ground over his last 4 games. He's tall, has solid forward lean when finishing off his runs. I think he's pretty good. I actually like Helu a little bit, too. Catches the ball out of the backfield, fluid with the ball in his hands. That's a pretty solid 1-2 punch. I think it's better than the McFadden-Jones-Drew pair from a year ago. So even though they're younger and not as sexy on paper, they're better. The Trent the Trent Richardson era in the Bay Area ended before it even began. I'm sure most of you have seen the vine of him running to the right into a pile of bodies instead of hitting a gaping hole on this side. You know, the hole was like yay big, and he goes this way. Flat out trash. You know, just retire. Seriously. Oakland didn't have a receiver reach, you know, the 700-yard mark a year ago. Hasn't seen one go over 1,000 since Randy Moss back in 2005. But that might change either this year or next. Cooper, very crisp route runner, has a very good shot at surpassing 1,000. Also has the speed to beat you deep as well. Crabtree has, you know, yet to really live up to his college accolades, except for an outstanding 2012 campaign. He came off an Achilles tear last year and averaged a career low 10.3 yards per catch. Tremendous hands, uses them to his advantage when hauling in passes in traffic. He's quick out of his cuts, sneaky speed, solid option on third down. Streater has size and quickness and is a solid third option, while Holmes at 6'4" uses his height and leaping ability to get it in jump ball situations. Go get it in jump ball situations. Walford is an intriguing talent at tight end. He has size, is a good route runner, will be a solid target for Carr in the intermediate range. But I don't think he'll contribute much, you know, the first half of the season. I think he's a guy that, you know, you gotta bring along slowly. Lee Smith and Mychal Rivera will take turns at tight end while, you know, Walford kind of develops. Rodney Hudson's undersized, but he's quick and agile. He's at his best in the zone blocking scheme where he can get to the second level and seal off linebackers. His hands are active, gets him, you know, inside a defender's pads to help him sustain blocks. Plays with balance and pass protection, but can be overpowered. He is, however, good at helping his guards out with combo blocking. Donald Penn is 32 now, but still a solid left tackle. He started 124 straight games. He has size, long arms, knows how to use them in pass pro. Austin Howard will start at right tackle while Jamarcus Webb and Gabe Jackson will man the guard spots. Jackson showed a lot of promise as a rookie, flashed the ability to anchor and punch, allowing just one sack all year. The 32-year-old Tuck uses his power and still has enough speed to rush off the edge, still gets leverage to play the run. Mario Edwards was taken in the second round, may be the starter at the other defensive end spot. He's explosive off the snap, using long arms and a powerful frame. Dan Williams got a nice little 4-year deal with the Oakland Raiders during the offseason. His ability at nose tackle for Arizona last season allowed Calais Campbell to record 7 sacks and Alex Okafor 8. He's very solid against the run, too. Justin Ellis is the other starter at defensive tackle. He took over as a starter midway through last season, and, you know, he's a really good run stuffer. Stacy McGee provides depth at D tackle, and Benson Mayowa and Denico Autry will see snaps at defensive end. Coming off an impressive rookie season, Mack was number 3 on my outside linebackers list, at least from the 4-3 spot. And I must say, to already see the leadership skills and being the quarterback of that defense in Oakland, that's the most, you know, impressive quality about him, at least to me. Reports, you know, surfaced around Raiders camp that the team plans on letting him rush the quarterback a lot more than last season, and, you know, worked a ton at defensive end in camp in base and sub packages. As a pass rusher last season, he tallied 4 sacks, 10 hits, and 4 quarterback hurries. His first step is explosive. His power allows him to push blockers backwards. His adept pass rushing talent is what he was known for at Buffalo, but in my opinion, no outside backer played the run better than Mack did a year ago. Forget about the numbers. You know, he had 76 tackles, 70 fewer than Lavonte David, who led the NFL, but it's how great he was at setting the edge and letting his teammates, you know, finish the plays off. It's you know, football's version of the hockey assist, and no outside linebacker does it better than Mack. His instincts already heading into his, you know, sophomore season, they're just extraordinary. Really are. He's a stud. Dropping back into coverage isn't his strength, but he did it pretty well considering his rookie status. Just needs to improve his awareness a little bit. With the trade of C.O. Moore to the Colts for a 6th-round pick, either Malcolm Smith or Ray Armstrong will start at the other outside linebacking spot. Lofton is the middle linebacker. He's a downhill thumper, stopping the run, but is a liability in coverage. Ben Heener and Nayron Ball were a pair of 5th-round picks at linebacker. What can 2013 first-rounder DJ Hayden do in a critical 3rd year in his career? He's played just 18 games in 2 years due to injury. He's got speed and the ability to change direction, let's see if he can resurrect his career. Travis Carey showed some promise as a 7th-round rookie last year. He appears to be the starter on the other side, while Keith McGill, Denico Thorpe, and 7th-round rookie Dexter McDonald provide depth. Besides, Mack, the 38-year-old Charles Woodson might have been the best defensive player on the Raiders last year. He might have lost a step, over the years, but his outstanding instincts allow him to thrive. Oakland went out and got Nate Allen to start at the other safety spot. He was okay, with his range, but has missed his fair share of tackles, when he was in Philly. Larry Asante and Keenan Lambert are backups, so that's the secondary. 37-year-old Sebastian Janikowski still has one of the most powerful legs in the game, while Marquette King's 40-yard net average as a punter was solid. Travis Carey will return kicks. So, prediction time. I don't think the Raiders are going to be that good, but they're heading in the right direction. There's some pieces in place. Not to say that they're going to be a playoff team next year or 2 years from now. They're trending upwards, at least. Even though they're going to be in the basement again, I think they're the worst team in the NFL. I have them going 2-14. But stay patient. I know it's tough. In the Bay Area, it's been 13 years since a playoff appearance. But if they just keep doing what they did this year with what they did with free agency, I think they might be okay. They just need to stop the coaching carousel. They need to have a guy in here that's going to be here for a couple years. A system in place that, stays and you can build around players. But you have some pieces, like I said. Carr looks like he might be okay. Latavius Murray might be okay. Amari Cooper looks like a stud. You have Khalil Mack on the defensive side of the ball. So, there are some pieces. Let's Oakland fans just hope that maybe in a couple years, these pieces will really come together when they hit their primes, and maybe a postseason appearance, might happen. But right now, still got to, stay calm and just continue to chug along through the bad times. But they'll get out of the black hole soon. So we'll see. All right. With that being said, I'm out of here. Make sure you follow us on Twitter @TheBitterBirds. Later.